Hi everybody, good evening. Welcome to the Paranormal Connection. Tonight I am talking to Hollis Polk, who's come all the way from the Bay Area. She's a clairvoyant and a business coach. Welcome, Hollis. I love your name.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking about different aspects of business coaching. You're a clairvoyant, you do NLP, you've got all kinds of things to offer anybody who comes to you as a client. So let's get going. Let's start. Tell us all about what you do.
Well, I like to start off doing a chakra reading of people. So for those people who don't know, chakras are basically energy centers that correspond with places in your physical body, and each one has its own emotional or psychological or metaphysical meaning, and that's how I really see the person. And after that, I can sort of see through them to their businesses, people in their lives, other situations, real estate even. So we go from there wherever anybody wants, and they'll ask me to look at things for their business life or their personal life. And if we see something they don't like, because I don't believe reality is fixed. I don't believe the future is fixed. I believe it's a range of probabilities, and you get to choose
Absolutely.
which way you'd like your future to go. So if we see something as the most likely thing, and if you're my client and you don't like that, well, I have a whole range of tools to help you change that. And
well, let's talk about some of those different tools that you use.
Okay.
So I'm coming to you as a client, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm about to start, my own business. What kind of reading would you do?
Well, it depends. Do you know what your business is? Have you picked a business?
Okay, let's say I want to manufacture some kind of tool to make things easier for people.
Okay. So perhaps you want to be looking at the market. And here I kind of go back and forth. I will use some of my Harvard MBA skills here too, to say, have you looked at the market? Have you actually done any research to see whether there's a market for this? And if not, how can you do that research, and or how can you test out the market really quickly and cheaply? But assuming you've done that, perhaps you are going to contract out the manufacturing and you have several potential suppliers. Well, I'm happy to look at those people psychically to see, who looks like they're honest, who looks like they can deliver, who looks like they're going to be a pain to deal with. And if nobody looks good, to perhaps guide you where else to look. Or if somebody looks good, hey, that's great.
Now, how does your information come to you? I know some people are clairaudio, some people, have their spirit guide give them the information. How do you pick things up when you're doing a reading?
It's a combination of clairvoyance and clairaudience.
Okay.
So I see pictures. Sometimes they're literal and sometimes they're symbolic, depending on what I'm being asked to read. And also my guides do talk to me. So I will get sometimes phrases, sometimes it's entire sentences, like channeling really, about what people need to know to do what they want, to, whatever they choose.
Yeah. Okay. Now you also incorporate NLP. Let's talk a little bit about the NLP portion, because that's kind of on the breaking edge here. A lot of people are starting to get into this field, and it's a beautiful, beautiful tool in helping people. So
it's actually a whole series of tools. So I use NLP to help people mostly change beliefs. We all pick up things along the way, often throughout our childhood. Sometimes I do think occasionally from other lifetimes that we bring into this one. And you can change beliefs that you have erroneously picked up along the way. And, long ago there was Jane Roberts in the Seth books had a very famous line, often misquoted: you create your reality through your beliefs. So I do a lot of belief change using NLP and energy work to help people move out. It's like kind of like if you had Aunt Tilly's couch sitting in the middle of your living room and it was Victorian and you were a modern kind of person, you wanted that gone. Well, metaphorically, we can move out Aunt Tilly's couch in usually a matter of minutes so that you don't have to step around it for the rest of your life. And then your business will get easier. That's the thing. If you're an entrepreneur, if you own your own business, whether it's a solo practitioner business or just any kind of small business, if you're different, your business will be different. Automatically and kind of magically.
So you're bringing the energy to your business as well as your whole entire life.
Right. You create your reality. That includes your person, your body, your business, your friendships, everything. You create that through your beliefs. And so if you change your beliefs, which is in a way changing your energy field, and I do believe that the unconscious mind kind of is your energy field. If you change that, then your reality will change. Very simple.
That does sound very simple.
It is. And it's fun.
So did you start out as a business coach and kind of start tuning into what people were feeling and thinking and these pictures were coming to you? Have you always been clairvoyant? And just sort of mixed it in with what you were doing? Or how did you combine all this energy and create this beautiful package that people can access?
By accident.
Okay.
So people always want to know if I was always clairvoyant. And the truth is, I had it as a very small child, and my mother told me, like, stop doing that when I was about 3. And I remember her telling me to do it, and she actually remembers telling me to do it. And, many years later, she explained that she was doing it for my own good. She thought it would protect me.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually think it was probably the most dangerous thing she could have done, but, she had only the best of intentions.
Of course.
So it went away till I was a teenager. And from then on, every time I got into a difficult situation, my guides would talk to me and tell me what I needed to know, or I would have an image of a place I was supposed to go, or a person I was going to meet, or something. And those were kind of little signposts for me. And then in my early 20s, I got sick. I had my Harvard MBA. I actually had an engineering degree from Princeton. I'd worked for a big 8 accounting firm, went to business school, was working at one of the country's largest department stores in management. Everything was great, and I got sick. With what is today called chronic fatigue immune dysfunction syndrome, but I got it so long ago that it didn't have a name.
I see.
And by the way, if you have it, just look on the web under REDD. It's turning out it's a neurological problem. Anyway, that required, it was kind of like having mono for actually about 20 years. The first couple years were the worst. And all I could do really was lie on the couch much. And through a series of what I today would call synchronicities, but at the time called coincidences, I got led to a clairvoyant training school. And what I discovered, part of what happened was they taught me to meditate. And meditating was the only thing that made me feel better. Only they didn't teach me to meditate on purpose just to meditate. They taught me to get into a trance state so that I could do readings. So in a way, the only thing that made me feel better was doing readings. So I did readings.
Out of your mind.
Yes.
So to speak. Yeah,
yes.
You disconnected yourself from.
Well, but also today there are over 2,500 studies that show the positive benefits of meditation. And they include things from body temperature regulation to lowering heart disease, lowering dental caries, all kinds of things. But what would happen for me is my sore throats would go away and my swollen glands would calm down. And those are 2 major parts of the CFIDs. So anyway, doing readings made me feel better. So I did more of them. It was just really simple. And gosh, at one point, I'm actually also a real estate broker, although I don't do that for a living anymore, but way back when I did. And the last time we had a real estate downturn, I got led to the largest 900 number for psychics. It was like a little ad in the SF Weekly, work from home, be a psychic. And I thought, hey, you know what? This will be way more fun than watching TV at night. I'll do a couple readings every night. So I would work my regular day and I'd go home and I'd do a couple readings. Great. And then I began to get these phone calls from the company. And every week there would be a phone call, like on my message machine, that would say something like, you're number 14, you're number 42, you're number 26. And finally one day, I happened to be home when the phone rang and I said, what are you talking about? And she went, oh, out of our 2,500 psychics, you had the 14th best call average. What does that mean? Well, the longest, you're talking the 14th longest of anybody that's doing readings, which, by the way, at $4 a minute meant you probably were doing something right.